Norberto is back. Back. Welcome back, brother.
I'm just happy to be here. This is good.
So there's a lot going on in the world, bro. And I was like, let me talk to my boy. Yo, the whole Huaraches situation, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you think about that? You know, Adidas just came out with like some Huaraches, like some shoes, right? Before I say whatever I think I'm gonna say, right? I don't know what you don't know what I'm gonna say, but I want to see what you think about this. So, and to inform people that don't know, so Adidas did a collab with this designer, and the designer came out with this indigenous slip-on flippers, right? Like some slipper shoes.
And they're huaraches, yeah.
They're huaraches.
Yeah.
And that's what huaraches is. And huaraches is like very an indigenous Mexican thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of backlash. A lot of Mexicans are mad. Even the Mexican president came out and was like, yo, we have to respect the indigenous people. That Adidas is having a meeting with the people down in Mexico right now. So like that. So like there's a lot of backlash happening. Do you think that it's... So now they're trying to say that there's appropriation or is it appreciation? And I feel like there's a fine line between both of them.
So, first off, the designer's name. What's the designer's name?
Wilmer or something. Wilker or something like that.
Let's look it up. Cut this part out.
No, we're not cutting it out.
Yeah, we are. Cut it out. We gotta know the designer's name.
Okay, Willy Chavarria.
Yeah.
Willy Chavarria.
I think that's an important part.
Okay, why?
Because where's he from? He's Chicano.
He's Chicano.
He's a Chicano designer.
Yes.
Okay, Willy Chavarria.
Okay.
And I think here's the thing. We were also in this business also.
Yeah.
Of wanting to represent.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to give him grace because I think it's important to give people grace who are trying to represent. In your efforts to represent people, sometimes you fall short. It happens. We have fallen short.
Of course.
Right? And I think that's the thing about it that is his intentions, I think, were very noble, right? He has a collab with Adidas. He wants to uplift the people that, he wants to uplift his heritage. Right, he wants to uplift indigenous culture, right? And what better way to do it than with the huarache and uplift the huarache. And the whole concept of a huarache, right, feels very home, feels like community. So I understand why he would want to do that. Yeah. Then again, right? Then the things fall short, right? You can't really call them, huaraches, right? No. If they're made in China and then that's where things kind of start falling apart a little bit. So that's why I'm like, was it a mistake? Yes. Yeah. I think there was an error. There was an oversight in how Adidas, not just him, but Adidas also went about this. Because I understand the wanting to represent your culture, but at the same time, it just falls short, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. But I also think accepting the shortcomings and then moving forward is probably the best way to go about it.
So I also heard that the design that he did was more like Michoacan. It's like it felt like it's a misrepresentation because they called it Oaxacan huaraches, but the style is more Michoacan, right? So it's like all misrepresentation at the same time.
Yeah, and again, it goes to that, right? Not enough research was done. Not enough research was done. Not enough knowledge went into how these were being made. And again, representation is important, but these days it's no longer about being. Representation doesn't mean much if you're not actually following through with all the authentic steps to get there. And I think that's something that is imperative in any type of situation. And the thing is, again, you and I have been in a place where we want to represent our people, and sometimes we fall short.
But let's be honest, they look cool. You wouldn't wear it.
I think you can find much better looking huaraches. I am so sorry. They
look comfortable as hell.
Look, I get it, but you can probably go, to Little Mercadito and find better huaraches there. And that's
true.
And that's the thing about it. It's Like,
They
look,
just look mad comfortable.
they do look. They look comfortable. I'll give you that. But it's also like,
And they look comfortable as huaraches.
sure. Again, I'm not going to criticize you if you buy them.
Okay, will you wear them?
No. But also huaraches in general, I don't tend to wear huaraches.
Why you never wear huaraches? I never seen you with huaraches.
No, I wear kicks. It's just huaraches in general, just like,
Bro, you gotta represent the people.
Yeah, but I really don't. I gotta represent my fit, which is the same stuff that I wear. I'm comfortable in it. And you know what it is? I don't like the sound that huaraches make, like that scrunching noise.
For real?
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of it.
Is it uncomfortable?
I don't know. It's definitely not uncomfortable. I think if you find you're the right fit, the right size, some people can pull it off really well. I am unfortunately one of those that does not pull it off.
Man, huaraches look so cool.
Huaraches can look pretty badass.
They look badass.
Yeah. And honestly, like if you're doing it, I have no sense of style. So for me, like huaraches just doesn't, I don't know. I've never.
You don't look like a straight up dad.
I would. Soy tío, but I'm also like, let me preserve my youth for just a little bit longer.
You don't have any kids around there you don't know about?
No. I don't.
Do you want to?
Tampoco.
No, to be honest with you, I just feel like, okay, do you think that the backlash on the huarache is merited?
I think it's important to have the conversations.
But do you think it's a little? Can it be a little bit extreme?
But I think nowadays that's the thing about it. It feels like nowadays, like
people get outraged.
It's extremes. We live in extremes. Like I think there is a conversation to be had about how to properly represent our communities.
Yeah,
sure. Let's have that conversation. Let's have conversations about indigeneity. Right, about indigenous cultures. Let's talk about how major brands can collaborate with Latino communities, with the indigenous communities. There are plenty of nuanced conversations to be had. The problem with the internet is that we don't have nuance. No. What we have are extremities. We are extremely angry about something when it doesn't have to be like that. And again, I think that's why I love using the phrase like, we're not calling out Willy Chaveria, right? We're calling him in. And I think that's okay to do. I think it's okay to have criticisms of our own people's work. I think it's warranted. But it's also at the same time, like, I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think it should be that extreme.
Extreme to even the president of Mexico would be like, yo, let's have a conference. Let's put up the huaraches on screen.
Here's the thing.
Bro, they had the huaraches on screen.
Here's the thing, though. I thought the way that Sheinbaum did it, I thought it was respectful. She had serious reservations about it. She wanted to protect her people, and she put it out there. And I think, honestly, why not? But again, to me, it's more of let's have a conversation about this. Right. And again, he's going to continue doing.
I saw the press conference, bro. And then I think she brought somebody up on stage to talk about it. And she was like, yeah, it was a North American designer. And I was like, that's messed up, because you're also saying, like, you're not saying like this guy is also like a descendant Mexican, or this is also like he's half Mexican. Right. But I'm like, it's kind of fucked up. I feel like it was messed up to be like, yeah, this North American man that has nothing to do with Mexico. Right? That created the design of these huaraches. Like, this is a proud guy that loves the culture. That if you look at all his design, he mixes up Mexican culture within his designs, which and the style is dope as shit. I saw all his stuff, like, is amazing, right?
His style is incredible. Absolutely. Like, and again, no one is doubting his talent. Yeah. Because he's an incredible, like, not only that, like, I think we're proud to have him as putting up representing our culture on the world stage, like 100%. Like, no one is doubting the talent that he has. Yeah. But again, I do have, there are the conversations to be had if like, why didn't you get indigenous people from,
¿Tú crees que he has the power to tell Adidas to do that shit?
I think you kind of have to be in that position.
You got to be like,
that's the responsibility.
We're going to do this. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So it's like, we're going to do this huarache. Vamos a hablar. Let's talk to Oaxacans, or like, let's hire people in Mexico to make this shit happen. Yeah, even though Adidas factory is all the way in China.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay,
one of the,
I
it's,
respect.
it's
I respect that. I
it,
respect that, but also like
here's the thing. I'm sure that like those conversations in those boardrooms or wherever these conversations are being
be
had,
held. Yeah,
I'm sure they weren't easy ones either. Like I'm
yeah,
sure that there was a lot of complexities. Maybe the idea was even floated around like we should have people from from Mexico do these huaraches. Maybe that
yeah,
conversation was had, and then Adidas was like, no, right? Maybe it was a back and forth too. I know what it's like to have lots of back and forth in rooms,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Especially corporate
sometimes, and
rooms.
at the end of the day, all that matters is what's the product that you deliver at the end,
Mm,
right? And I think you know I don't doubt that there might have been a lot of disagreements on how to go about this,
hmm
but at the end of the day, Adidas put out a shoe called called the Huarache,
And he
right?
called it. They called it Oaxacan Huaraches.
Y dónde está Oaxaca? Porque no los veo, right? At the end of the day, that's what gets put out.
I'll be honest though, because if they come out with something like yo, like somebody comes out, yo, we're gonna do the Diablo Cojuel. Me as Dominican, because tú eres mexicano, tú vas a saber más que yo. But to be honest with you, if somebody comes out with something like yo, this is gonna be the Dominican Mama Juana type shit, like I don't know, if it's like if a major company goes like, okay, we're gonna do something to, because they did it in a way to be like, let's honor this culture,
Hmm.
right? It was right. So if somebody does some shit like that, let's represent this culture or show love to this culture, like an appreciation. They do it, right? I think that also I would be proud of it. I was like, if somebody represents something that's Dominican, yo, we added this because it's a Dominican thing, and they're saying this is what it is. I
Hmm.
would feel proud about that. Like, yo, thank you for showing us love. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that would be like, oh, this is appropriation. I think appropriation is like I'm taking something, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not showcasing where it came from or like this is what's the inspiration, right? You're saying like, oh, I think appropriation is like I created this. We took it from a culture and we're not crediting none of the cultures for doing it. That's what I feel like appropriation is. Or like,
Hmm.
but like if you're doing it like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna honor that culture. Let's make this thing happen, right? And I'm showcasing like, yo, this is for Dominicans. Like Nike came out with with the sneakers. Like they had and it was in a box of dominoes.
Yeah.
It was cool as shit, right? And it had that Lo Mio in the bottom. But now, you know, I know it's dominoes and stuff like that. It's not like something like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Nobody's gonna be like this is appropriation. But I thought as a Dominican, yo, this is cool as hell, bro. I like Nike like showing Dominicans love. I was happy about that shit, right? I rocked that shit up and down, even though they sent me the wrong size. But it was amazing. I would think Adidas would be the same. Like, yo, these are huaraches, like to honor the indigenous Mexican culture, que esto lo otro.
I think the problem there is that huaraches are actually made like you have a lot of people in Mexico that make huaraches.
That's probably what it is.
Like, and I think that's where the problem comes in. It's just like you're calling it Oaxacan huaraches, right?
They're,
Like
they're not made in Oaxaca.
they're not made there. Like you're already the story that you're telling with this huarache feels false because
Mm,
it's not actually coming from the place where you said that this is from. It's
yeah.
made in China. So that's the issue.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and again, I think and I look, and I'm making a lot of assumptions here, so I don't
yeah.
know any insider information at all. But I can see how this could have started out as I want to honor my culture, my people,
Yeah.
and it ends up slowly transforming. Like maybe there's Frankenstein ideas essentially gets transformed into appropriation, and and you know what? Sometimes that happens.
Damn, it's like it feels like there's a fine line.
It's because I mean,
It's
it's a
a
big
fine line.
responsibility too. When you're
Yeah.
being given that big of a platform, you have much more responsibility. If it does really well, you're gonna get all the praise, all the glory,
And if it
and
doesn't,
if it doesn't,
you're the bad guy.
pretty much. But the thing is, we both know what that's like.
Oh yeah.
We've done shit that we're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're representing our people, and then you're like,
And then you get the backlash.
Then you get backlash, and then you're like, oh, well, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
You know? And that happens. But that's also the responsibility. Here's the thing. That's a responsibility for us to, like, you know, to take in those criticisms, to listen to it and do better. It's not the end of the world, right? It's you know, it's a shoe, you know. But I think at the end of the day, like, he's going to continue having a career, and I hope what this doesn't do is like put off him from continuing to represent.
Yeah,
I think we gotta just learn. All right,
yeah.
I hear it, and we move forward.
Yeah, shout out to Willie for you know what I'm saying,
absolutely
trying, representing, and you know what I'm saying,
because, like, you know, he's representing not just our culture, not just our people, but he's representing the issues that we're facing right now through his art. And I think, you know, that's what we want more people to do.
Yeah,
you know, and again, and this all goes, you know, it's an ongoing conversation too. Like, if we fail in doing that,
gotcha,
I think it's okay to have a conversation about it.
Okay.
What I don't think is, like, I don't think it's an egregious crime. Like, oh my God,
just cancel this person.
Let's cancel this person.
But they got the whole nation of Mexico talking about it. like to have a press conference, all this stuff. Like, even the reporter was like, "What do you think about this?" I was like, "Holy shit!" And then I saw, and I kind of don't want them to not release the sneaker.
It's, you know,
unless they go like, I think Adidas gonna meet with the indigenous people in Oaxaca, right? And yo, let the Adidas go over there, but like, yo, you know what? Let's send some money to Oaxacans or some shit, and then release the motherfucker.
See, and I think simple solutions like that is you know, just thinking it out. Like,
yeah. All
right, if these shoes are going to be made in China, how do we connect this to indigenous cultures?
And how are we going to help them? Yeah.
You know, because that's also, like, you know, you're essentially profiting off of their work.
Yeah.
Off of their culture, off of their name.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. Like, well, you know, it's good to be able to give back to the actual people, right? It's one thing to represent, but how are you actually helping them out?
No, that's interesting.
You know what? Here's the thing about Mexico. Mexico's kind of like had it. And you know what? I think that's what it is. I'm gonna blame Emilia Pérez for this.
Why?
Because Emilia Pérez, that Oscar-nominated movie,
oh my,
misrepresented Mexico so bad. And you know what Mexico said? Ya no nos vamos a dejar. Yeah. I'm so tired.
I think it was Emilia Pérez.
Yeah.
You think Emilia Pérez was the catalyst? Bro,
it was the catalyst.
That was the first.
That's why Scheinbaum is like, no, we're going to call these out. We're going to call them out immediately.
Damn.
That's a theory. It's not fact at all. That's just my personal feelings. I hate that movie.
You hate that movie so bad?
That movie
God
so bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried. I was like, oof. Yeah.
They didn't try.
What do you think? What do you think went wrong with Emilia Pérez?
Everything
went
wrong.
You know what's crazy, bro? You know, I was thinking about the other day that Eugenio Derbez was the first one to talk about it.
He was.
And he got a lot of backlash.
And
then the movie came out. He apologized. The movie came out and everybody was like, damn, Eugenio was right.
Here's the thing. Because if you haven't seen the movie, you know, and the criticism is Selena Gomez doesn't speak Spanish well in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, you're supporting Selena Gomez, so therefore you want to, like, your immediate reaction is to respond.
Yeah.
And then you watch the movie, you know,
and you're like, ooh.
Here's the thing: the Selena Gomez's accent in that movie was the very least of the issues.
That was not even the problem.
Yeah, it wasn't even the problem.
You know what it was with the interview with Eugenio Derbez was the lady that was interviewing Eugenio Derbez. She was going in on Selena Gomez, and she was going overboard. So, like, of course, it triggered a lot of people that barely speak any Spanish or trying to learn how to speak Spanish. So they went in. She went in on her accent was so horrible. I couldn't even stand it. Like, she was going in. But Eugenio Derbez was not like that. You know, Eugenio Derbez was like, yeah, it was not good, but like the music, what made him think that the music was gonna be that good?
I think the point that they were getting at in that interview, again, because it's not the accent, it's like the use of Spanish. Like, the Spanish itself is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not on Selena Gomez. Like, that's the poorly written script. That is a very horribly poorly written script.
Yes.
By nobody that knows the culture.
Exactly.
Right?
And the dude don't even speak Spanish, bro.
No.
The director. So then on top of that was the music. So the music was not good at all, right?
No.
But then they're receiving awards, right? They're receiving all these awards, and that's what Eugenio was talking about. Like, why is there awards? And you saw all these awards that they're winning or even nominated for, and you're like, oh, did we see the same movie? So that's what Eugenio Derbez was frustrated about. That was he was mostly talking about, right? And then, but I think the one that was interviewing him was going in on Selena's accent, right? I think she was a little OD. So now everybody went against Eugenio, but until we watched the movie, we're like, oh shit, I see what he was talking about. He was right the whole time.
Here's the thing: I watched the movie twice from beginning to end because I wanted to first off know what was bad about it.
Yeah, what was bad about it?
Everything. It's a perfect example of like white European people coming in, exploiting an issue in a community and using that as profit. Like profit. Essentially, they're profiting that's cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation, definitely.
And I think that when you watch the movie, you're like, this is a lot of issues. Like there are so many issues.
What would you say are the issues and what made it better?
What were the main issues?
Yeah.
There was, so first off, the Spanish was weird.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds weird.
Words that you never use.
Like, who talks like this? Also, they're in Mexico City, and you're like, this doesn't look like Mexico City. Like, it doesn't have, like, the vibe of it. Well, it's because it wasn't shot in Mexico City. They didn't shoot anything in Mexico. Like, they didn't shoot anything? It was all in France.
It was all in France?
Yeah. So then you're like, okay.
No wonder they didn't feel Mexican or like didn't look.
There was again, and then you have a French director who said that he doesn't need to understand Mexico in order to make this movie. And then you had all the problems it was a very transphobic movie. People in the trans community had an issue with it as well.
Do you think what was transphobic about it?
I think from my understanding, from what other trans critics have said, was that the movie essentially was a misrepresentation of what being trans is like.
Gotcha.
Right? It puts out false narratives about what this is. And I think that is important, right? If the two main communities that were being represented on camera were trans people and Mexicans, and if both of them were telling you that your movie sucks, that's a problem.
You know what it is? I feel like that movie came out and it was like one after the other. It was like the trans person, the trans woman that was the lead. She was very anti-black.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
very
like
racist.
She was very racist and came out crying, right? Like, bro. And then Zoe Saldana's response when they talked to her about it, like it was very dismissive.
Yeah, she was like, this movie could have been shot anywhere. It could have been in Detroit. It could have been in Palestine. And you're like,
bruh.
If it could have been shot anywhere, why didn't they shoot it in France? Why wasn't this a French movie then?
Why was this a French movie?
Yeah. Why did this have to be shot in Mexico? Why did you have to portray Mexicans like that?
Bruh.
Why and again, it's all about like them like taking advantage of Mexican culture to tell this story without actually properly representing.
I think where the real backlash came was at least this, like you're making a thing about a real issue that's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
And Mexicans are tired of it. So it kind of like, I don't know if we put it in a positive light. Okay, this person turned good, and then now she's now that went trans, is eliminating all the bad things they did. This person killed so many people, and now is helping find the people that this person killed, right?
That it goes to all the issues with this movie. It's just like, that makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense,
right?
So you went trans, and now I'm like, let's find the people we killed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and now you're a hero.
The thing about Los Desaparecidos is like, it's a real issue in Mexico.
It's a real issue in Mexico.
It's a real issue. It's a sensitive issue.
Yeah.
So you can't just tack it onto your movie to to make people like to make this person out to be a hero, and it's just that's
the main issue.
That's the problem. Like this is a real issue. Like you have to tackle it with respect, and that movie didn't do anything.
Yeah, because you think about there's people in Mexico right now that have missing family members dealing because of the issue with the cartel happening over there, and then now they gotta watch a movie where somebody's like basically talk like you imagine you have a missing family member because of this thing that happened. Now there's a movie that comes out and is featuring people. That's also triggering.
Here's the thing. There's lots of bad movies out there in the world.
Yeah.
There's lots of bad representation of Mexicans out there.
Yeah.
There's tons of that. The thing about this particular movie is the amount of awards that it was being given.
Yes.
Which means Hollywood was validating this type of storytelling. Hollywood was validating this exploitation of Mexican communities. It was validating this cultural appropriation. And that's where the issue comes in. That it was just like, okay, it's a bad movie. They culturally appropriated it. All right, we've seen that.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. But this in particular was like, this movie is being primed to win the Oscar for best movie.
Yes.
And that is an issue.
Was the issue. That's
the biggest issue. Because otherwise, like, the movie would have still had its critics, but it's like, all right, whatever, it's just a movie on Netflix, it'll go away. Mm-hmm. But no, they're trying to cement this movie as a masterpiece.
I think it was a little tone deaf. I think they focused more about, I think they focused so much like, this is not about that. It's more about women and showcasing trans women. That's why I think they went in as focusing on that. But like, they didn't see the other parts of it, like the harm. It was tone deaf.
Very tone deaf. But again, you have we go back. This all ties back to the Willy Echeverria stuff.
Yeah.
In the sense that you're being given this responsibility to represent, and it's not an easy one.
No,
it's not easy to hold that responsibility. But it's also like you have the responsibility. You have to do your due diligence, to like research, to understand your history, to understand the people that you are uplifting.
Yeah, because
if you don't do all that work to find the authenticity in your representation, you're bound to fail.
Do you think that has to deal with a lot more like yes man? I feel like because Eugenio Derbez was talking and he was like, yo, I saw the little Eugenio Derbez interview and he was sitting down. He was like, bro, he's like, I'm sitting there watching in the movie theater and I'm looking like nobody's gonna say nothing, and you know you go to these premieres. You and I've been to premieres, right? Mm-hmm. And you see how everybody's like, and they'll clap and they praise. And I feel like they're being validated with all these yes people until it goes to the public.
Yeah.
Because he was like, yo, I'm like, yo, I was looking left and right and nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, it's awkward. You don't want to be the person to be like, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Look, so, I'm the negative one most of the time, and I don't like doing that. Yeah. I don't like being like, I got an issue with this. I get it. But we have to be the ones. We have to be the ones in the room to speak up.
I think we owe Eugenio Derbez an apology.
You'll be fine.
We apologize, Eugenio Derbez, for the whole community. What do you think?
No.
Oh, Norberto says that he represents the whole community of Latin America and he wants to apologize to you specifically.
Pendejo.
Bro. There's also a lot going on, bro. Like especially like the whole like you came over here, bro, and you were talking to me about like this whole Christian Nodal. Like that's
Christian what?
Nodal.
Christian Nodal. Yeah.
It was a dude that has a tattoo all over his face. Mm-hmm. Like that's another thing that's going crazy right now. Like everybody's like, my mom got mad at me the other day because she came up to me. "Tú sabes que Christian Nodal." I'm like, who the fuck is that? Él tenía un bebé y se casó. Y yo dije, yo no sé quién es ese tigre, mami. Yo dije, esto me. The thing is, I'm also used to like she comes to me and she talks to me, and I feel bad sometimes, right? Because she comes and talks to me about people I don't know about, but she tells me their whole life story, and if I don't know the person, I could give two shits about it, right? Right?
Is that true?
Yeah, if I don't know the person, like, okay, For instance, sometimes she'll like I'm used to her like she talks to me about work and she tells me the people's names. Like she gives me a whole recap of her day, bro. She's like, you know what? Julian said this, and Mr. Lee said, you sabes que me dijo Ana. Y Ana, and then this is what's going on with this person in their life. Like, they have this type of disease, right? I don't care about none of these people, but I'm like, and I'm so used to, like, I'm being, right? And she'll give me a recap the whole day of people that I don't know. So then when she talks to me about even celebrities, she'll be like, oh, Cristian Nodal. I'm like,
but you're telling me you don't know who Cristian Nodal is?
As a matter of fact, I seen him around, but I don't know him. I also don't know his music like that.
So if the name Cristian Nodal comes up, or Cazzu, or Ángela Aguilar, or Belinda, if any of those names comes up, you don't know.
I've heard the Aguilar, and I know that she's the daughter of Pepe Aguilar, right? Yeah, Ángela Aguilar, that's her name.
Yeah,
I know about her, but I don't know her. You see what I'm saying? I don't know anything about her. All I know is that she's Pepe Aguilar's daughter.
Okay.
That's all I know about her. The Cristian Nodal, I seen him around, that he has tattoos on his face and he sings. That's all I know about that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know this Cazzu. The only reason why I know about Cazzu is because mom be putting her on. She's always telling me, ay, pobre la pobre. What's going on over here? Because I feel like even like when I turn on the TV, sometimes she's like, and she talks about it like she's into whatever's going on with this Nodal motherfucker.
Well, that's the thing about it. It's chisme. At the end of the day, it's puro chisme.
Yeah.
And chisme is juicy. The thing is, you like that I like to think I'm above chisme, but no, chisme is chisme. Like it's
such a Latino thing. Like the chisme is.
Well, how many shows are there, right? Not just in Mexico, right? There's Ventaneando. There's all countless.
It was like Cotorreando.
Yeah, there's countless amounts of like chisme shows. Univision, Telemundo. What they have El Gordo y la Flaca, right?
Yeah,
like there's just chisme shows para el chisme. Because chisme is juicy.
Yo,
chisme
I remember
entertainment.
Talk about Gordo La Flaca. I remember there was ones like Gordo. Remember Raúl de Molina? Like he was with this artist. Like he was in a jacuzzi, sitting down in the jacuzzi, and he's sitting down with the artist, and then he brings a picture of the artist cheating on his wife at the show while they're in the jacuzzi. He's like, "I got a gift for you." And he gives them the gift, and that guy opens the gift. And it's a big ass portrait of him cheating on his wife on a yacht. And he grabbed the portrait and slammed it over Raúl de Molina's head.
How do you not love that? How are you not entertained by that?
That was very entertaining.
Is it trashy? Yes.
It's trashy.
Is it bad for society?
Yeah,
arguably.
You know what it is. After that, I was like, I don't like Raúl de Molina. I like him now. Like at that time, I was like, yo, I don't like this dude at all. That's fucked up, right? But also like, damn, I still remember that.
This guy's gotta take balls,
yeah,
to do that.
But I also feel like us human beings also grew up with chisme. Like we need chisme in a way, right? In a sense, like. Because there's also social responsibility that you have. You would say so?
Do we need it? No. We don't need it. We want it though. So I'll take it.
He'll take it. You love that shit.
There's chisme of all types, just like anything else in the world. Food. There's good food and then there's bad food. Chisme, same thing. There's good chisme, and then there's also bad chisme.
There's this book, it was called Sapiens, and they said that the reason why a lot of humans developed and became very smart is because they used gossip. So the use of chisme was a way to protect the tribe, to know who is a good person, who is the bad person, who can we stay away from. So it was a way that we're like, okay, we understand ourselves socially, but also like held other people responsible as a community. So it was a way to be like, okay, this is also a protective layer. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Chisme saves lives. I wish I could have come up with that myself, but
chisme saves life.
It's true though.
Latina's been ahead of it for a very long time.
because that's the truth.
Chisme saves
Chisme
lives.
saves lives.
That's your book. That's gonna be your new book now, huh?
No, I can't take credit for that line. Somebody said it. And unfortunately, I can't. I want to be able to give them credit, but it's something that I've heard, and it's been with me ever since.
Chisme
Chisme saves lives.
So what's going on with the chisme with the Cristiano? Like, because my mom can't stop talking, and I feel bad shutting her down the other day.
All right, so I think I'm trying to I'm gonna try to I'm a terrible storyteller, so I'm gonna try and keep it simple. All right.
Yeah.
Essentially, what happened was, think about it this way: Cristiano Nodal was with Cazzu. Cazzu is essentially an Argentinian artist.
Okay.
All right, they were together for a while, and then they eventually had a kid. They had a baby. And then what happened was just a cut in the same. Cristiano Nodal decides to break up with Cazzu, the mother of his child.
Damn.
Within the month, he got married to Ángela Aguilar.
Damn.
Yeah.
But was it right after she gave birth, or?
I don't think it was right after she gave birth, but it was within the month of breaking up.
Damn.
So he broke up with Cazzu and then immediately went with Ángela Aguilar.
Uh-huh.
The thing was, there's a video out there where they ask Ángela Aguilar about how does she feel about Cazzu giving birth.
Uh-huh.
And Ángela Aguilar was like, yo estoy emocionada de ser, que voy a ser tía, or something like that.
What?
So like, it's a little weird. It's a little weird how that happened. And then Cristiano Nodal, he went from one woman to another.
Damn.
Right? And now he's calling Ángela Aguilar like the love of his life. Bruh. Apparently, according to this interview that he recently did, it was a spur in the moment type of decision to get married. They both went to Rome to go get married.
Wow, what a slap in the so how long ago after because how long ago after did he get after the baby was born? How long after the baby was born?
I mean, it couldn't have been that long. Like, think about it. He's been with Cazzu since 2022 probably.
Yeah.
So like that. I mean, that has a lot to do with it too. It's just it's everything happened in a very short period of time.
But could it be that he was like he probably done with the marriage, done with Cazzu, done with the.
There's a lot that we don't know. Because these are people, like these are human beings. This is their lives,
and they have their lives exposed to everybody else.
And that's the thing about it; it gets exposed to everybody.
Damn, but that's crazy.
Yeah, Ángela Aguilar is like, if you ask anybody in Mexico, she's like a villain. For real? Yeah, people don't like her that much.
Damn.
There's also a meme that she has. She says like amor, like in a very squeaky voice.
Yeah.
So then people started like opening up their cabinets and it does the same sound. Right? So like that's the thing about it. And it's weird because everybody gives Ángela Aguilar a ton of shit.
Yeah.
For what happened. And she's almost like the one who like
she's like broke up a marriage.
She broke not a marriage, she broke up a family though.
Yeah, a family.
Right? Like and people give her shit for that, but I'm kind of like, Cristiano Nodal que? Why isn't he getting the same amount of hate?
So she's getting more hate than
she's getting way more hate.
What?
Way more hate.
So people are not really blaming him for, bro, he just like betrayed his woman, his family.
Thing was, this isn't like a new thing, right? He was with Belinda, and then he like shortly after breaking up with Belinda, he was with Cazzu.
Wow.
Right? Cazzu, he has a baby with Cazzu, then they break up, and then literally within the month, se está casando con Ángela Aguilar.
That motherfucker, he's psycho.
I don't think he's psycho. I think calling him psycho relieves him of responsibility. No. Es un hombre.
Es un hombre, yeah.
Es hombre.
Es hombre, ¿verdad?
Es hombre. O sea, and that's the thing about it though. Like, he is like, it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I'm not also absolving Ángela Aguilar of any responsibility.
Of course.
But I'm just saying, if we're mad at Ángela Aguilar, why aren't we also just as mad as Cristiano Nodal?
That's true. That is fair. I also feel like people are, I feel like everybody has their they have these cycles. Like this is part of them, right? And so we talk about like this Cristiano that he did it once before, and I don't understand how people get with somebody, but yo, he did this to this person. Why would you get with a man that you know that he did to somebody else? He's gonna do it to you too.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We're creatures of habit, and that's how we are, creatures of habit. You see somebody do the same habits, bro, you're gonna risk yourself with somebody. You see what I'm saying?
No aprendemos.
No aprendemos.
Pero, what are we gonna do? Nos gusta la mala vida.
Le gusta la mala vida. I mean, I got a family member. I'm not even gonna say who it is, but so I'm not gonna say who it is, but he cheated, right?
Mhm.
And then he had a kid out of wedlock within his marriage, whatever. So he ended split it up things, got with a new woman, but like then 18 years later he cheated again, right? So it's like, okay, this is part of the habit, like a cycle of what this person does, right? Like the hiding of the phones, getting home, lying about it was like also lying about little minimal stuff, like sometimes who put me in the way of a lie.
Mhm.
Like he was like sometimes with like it would be a small white lie. But one thing I don't like about liars is that let's say you and me hanging out, you a liar, right? And you're gonna lie to your wife. Now, because you're lying to your wife, I gotta lie to your wife. You see what I'm saying?
So drag you with you.
So that every time you fucking lie, now I gotta lie to your wife. Now you are making me a liar and putting me in a bad position.
Yeah, you're not part of the conspiracy.
Now I'm part of now I'm also a bad guy because I'm not gonna tell your wife going like, nah, that nigga lying.
But I mean, my thing about lying, about cheating specifically, is like if you get with somebody who knows, like, if you know that they cheated to be with you, how do you know that they're not going to do the same
thing
to
you? They're
gonna
gonna do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
When the time comes, they're gonna do the same thing to you. We're creatures of habit, and it's gonna happen. And I think people get delusional. I think you fall in love, and you brainwash yourself with these stories like, nah, it's gonna be different. Oh, he changed. You know how people be lying, bro. People be like, I changed. You know what I'm saying? I went to church, and now I'm different.
You can find anybody else in the world to forgive you, so you only had to go. You had to go with God.
God, yeah, bruh. I know because I've done that before. Like I went to church once and I was like, I'm a different man. That's it. God, Jesus. That's it. Like I'm absolved of everything that I've did in the past. Why do people do that shit? They go through a breakup, they go to church immediately. No, that's it. I'm a different person. Christian.
I'm not a religious person by any means. Although I will say there's something about, have you ever gone to church and like just sit down there for a while and then afterward there's a calmness.
There's this peacefulness.
There is a peacefulness. And again,
I think it's the music.
I think it's the vibe. It's the vibe.
It's the vibe too.
It's the vibe. It's the smell of incense and it's the smell of like I don't know what it is.
It depends on the church.
It depends on the church.
Because I go to a Catholic church and I remember I go to a Catholic church and I'll look around and people are like falling asleep, like right.
That's me.
Yeah, falling asleep. And it's very like mellow. But you go to a Christian mega church, it's a concert. All these. I remember I went through a breakup, right? And I was freaking hurt, bro. I was like, and I was so hurt, bro. And I was like, I need something. Like when you hurt and you're down on your luck, you're like, you're looking for something to be like, I want to change this feeling that I hate inside of me, right? And I was like, and you blame yourself, you beat yourself down a lot. And that's why I think a lot of people suffer with depression and when you go through a breakup, because you become your own enemy too at the same time. And I went to this church, I went to this mega church called the Rock Church out in San Diego. And that's how they get you too. Because when you walk in there, I walked in there and I'm like, you're also looking for something like, you know how people always telling you, I felt like Jesus talked to me. And I wanted that moment. So I walked in there, I'm looking for that moment. And he's like, and then the pastor comes up. And the pastor is like this motivational speaker. He goes, I know Jesus know what you're going through. Like, he does. Right? Right? And now he was like, Jesus is there for you. Everything that you're going through right now, you need to go through that for a reason so you could come here and give your life to Christ. I'm like, I feel like he's talking to me. And then the song comes out, I surrender. I surrender. Yeah, I surrender. And that's when they got me.
Look,
That's when they got me.
Look, if it makes you a better person, why not? If it makes you a better person, have at it. Make it a rock concert for all I care. I don't care. As long as it makes you a better person and you're not trying to oppress other people, cool.
That's what matters.
The churches that I went to growing up were Catholic churches.
Okay.
We're very much Catholic. Definitely not a rock concert. You would probably have like a little band on the side, you know, singing like the little and that's about it.
Yeah.
But it was more about being like there's a wave of calmness that you get from church.
I think the Catholic Church was like mostly like there's rituals. Like you be like, Alaba al Señor. Like the pastor says something, you say something too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time when you say hi to everybody around you. Like there's a thing you knee and you stand and you're like, and then in the Dominican church they have like a live band. They'll play merengue, bachata, and they're like, oh damn, okay.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, it also sounds like, you know, this is something you have to go to.
Yeah. You have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it sounds like a good little concert. Why wouldn't you want to go? It's entertainment mixed in with you know, with prayer.
You know what I do appreciate about it? It was an hour. It was just like, okay, you know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it for the hour, and that's it. Without everybody go home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like a 3-hour thing.
No, I think most mass. I think at least for me, growing up, it was an hour.
Yeah,
but you know, when you're there in the morning, you're just like, ugh. Or when you're there for Christmas at midnight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm agnostic now.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't gone. I go to churches to look at like the architecture rather than like to go seek prayer.
Yeah, I'm agnostic now too. You know, when that happened, we started reading the Bible. I was very extreme, bro. I was so extreme that I used to tell girls like, I have a party. And the girl would come through to the party. She said, hey, what's the party? I was like, nah, this is Bible study.
Nice.
I was OD.
They got you.
I got him. And we'll sit down. All right, we're going to read the Bible right now, y'all. And I was so extreme. I would read the Bible from front to back. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to know everything in the Bible. And then we got to the part that was like, you know, a man that lays with another man should be killed. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, what do you mean? Like, so it's like if you gay, like you go to hell, or if you lay with a man that lays with another man, should be killed. I'm like, that's extreme, right? And then I was like, I talked to, you know, when you go into the Christian church, sometimes they give you an assigned person to work with you, and the person, really nice guy, I love him. He was Puerto Rican too, from New York, and he gave me a Bible, and I started reading that's the Bible I was reading every day, bro. And I would go to sleep with my ex-girl at that time. I used to be like, yo, we're going to read this together. And we'll read it together. Like, every night we'll read the Bible.
How old were you?
I was in my 20s. I was already out of the Navy and all that stuff. And when we got to, like, the homophobic stuff, you know, that's when I was like, I couldn't wrestle with that because my sister at that time was depressed. She was going through it. Yeah, she was going to church, too. And then she would talk to the priest, but like, I don't know what to do. And they were like telling her like she needs to get rid of her gayness, right? And she's like, I've tried. She's like, I'm like, and I would tell her like, give your life to Christ, and then the gayness will go away, right? And she's like, I've done that, God. I don't know. And I'm like, and I'm pretty sure. And then at that time, she was very vulnerable. So if I tell her things like that like the only way that she could be saved is for her to stop being gay. This is somebody that is willing to take their own life if they go down that path, right? And I was like, and I was confused, and I went back to the guy that was mentoring me. Yo dije, oye, like this one's like, I think there's something wrong. I was thinking like there's something wrong in the Bible right now. I'm like, it's saying this like that. I wanted this person to sit down and interpret to me why, like, does it mean something completely different? There's no way that this is saying this right now. I was like, this is saying that you should be put to death for being gay. And then he was like, homosexuality is bad. But in the New Testament, like if you give your life to Christ, you're not gonna go to hell. So if she doesn't make the choice of continuing being gay and she gives her life to Christ, she's gonna be okay. I was like, but so Jesus is also saying that homosexuality is bad too. Like what is it like? Because the God I know, he accepts everybody, right? And he goes like, no, unfortunately, if your sister continues being gay, she's gonna go to hell. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm not gonna go back to my sister and say something like that. I'm not. She's gonna. If I say something like that, it will kill her. And that day, I was like, and I remember walking up to him. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this because I like if my sister's gonna go to hell, I'm gonna go to hell with her. And that's when I walked away from Christianity. Never looked back. I was like, nothing that I'm gonna believe in is gonna if it's gonna hurt my family, I'd rather burn in hell over and over again, and I'll fight anybody and I'll die for my family. You see what I'm saying? First and
Absolutely.
foremost, I think that also changed my life because it opened up a whole new world of things like, science, physics, and knowing how the universe works because it was a blank slate. It was like people ask me questions. So what do you think about this? I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. And I went OD. Like just I went with the Bible extreme, like reading every day. I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how everything works. How humans came about. What is science saying? And I was like, that's why I was like reading about the Big Bang, astrophysics, how big the universe is, how the Earth was developed, how old is the Earth. I don't know none of this. You know, how long dinosaurs were around and then humans were developed. What creates life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that changed my life forever. Cause like now I have a concept of where we are, who we are, and where we come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, damn, that was a little deep.
No, I think that's I mean I never got that deep into it.
Yeah.
Like I had my la primera comunión,
Yeah.
I went to Saturday school.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was like Sunday school but on Saturdays, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But then you start asking questions
Mm.
about like why do we pray for certain things? Why you ask them how the universe was created and they tell you, well, God created the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, that's weird.
Yeah.
What about the Big Bang Theory? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then every Christmas, the thing is we do los rosarios.
Yeah.
And look, I respect it. I respect the tradition of it. Because you have everybody in the family, estamos nos persignamos, we say
La hora
el Padre
Santa.
Nuestro, hacemos,
Cielo.
la Ave Maria
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But then there's a moment in the prayer where you start saying, and again, forgive me because it's been a while since I prayed, but there was a one where you're like espejo de verdad, or it's also like Castillo de Oro, something like that. And after every time they say it, you have to go ruega por nosotros, ruega por nosotros, ruega por nosotros. And I always thought, what are these things that we're saying? I'm saying it, like, and again, for me, I was just like, I'm saying it just to say it, just because someone is telling me I have to say it. But the words have no meaning to me. And again, I was like 12, 13 when I was like,
you were questioning that already?
I was questioning it.
What?
Because I was just like,
it don't make sense.
What? Yeah, like cáliz de oro, and you're like, what? ¿Qué es un cáliz de oro? Like what? Like what is it that I'm saying? I have no idea what I'm praying for right now.
Yeah.
I'm saying words because people are telling me I have to say it.
You have to say it.
Yeah, because this is what we do. This is like the tradition. This is like,
you went to the catecismo and all that.
I did all that stuff.
I remember at catecismo they would ask questions like, oh, you can't, because in the Bible also says que you can't algo images, you can't worship images and stuff like that because it's a jealous God. And I remember being in the catecismo going like, pero dice esto en la Biblia, y por qué and then she would get mad. The lady that's teaching the catecismo will get pissed at me. You're like, but as a kid, I was always like questioning shit.
I think you have to have an answer for that.
You need to have an answer for that.
Because it's so like I'm spending a lot of time on this.
I'm devoting my life. I'm giving my life to this.
And but why do you get defensive when I ask the question?
She used to get mad, bro. She used to be like, you know what? It also says in the Bible, do not question God. You know, like, but you didn't answer the question. So it was always.
Why wouldn't we question it?
Why wouldn't we question it?
Around that time, I started losing like my faith.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think like I don't believe in this. So I went to confession. And in confession, I talked to the priest and I said, like, I'm saying the words because a big thing was, I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying. When I come to church, you tell us to pray, you tell us to do El Padre Nuestro, you tell us to do El Ave Maria, but I'm saying the words, but it means nothing to me. And I told this to him, and he goes, entonces si no sientes nada para Jesús, si no sientes nada para Dios, ¿para qué vienes entonces? And I thought,
that's true.
Pues, and in my mind, I thought, after telling him that I was losing my faith, I thought he would try and like bring me back.
Yeah. You wanted
and instead, he was just like, so why you here? And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I'm here. And that was, I think, one of the last times that I was just like, okay, peace.
And you never came back?
No. I mean, to me, I respect Catholicism as tradition. So, like, I'm never going to rally, like, I'm never going to rally against, like, si las tías están, if it's Christmas and las tías y los tíos se están persinando and everything, and they're doing the rosary beads, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is so dumb.
Never, I would never do that.
Like, no.
I would never disrespect the culture or anything.
You respect people and their beliefs.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But I don't partake in it.
I don't. Yeah, same here. Like my grandma died. I know that my grandma is very Catholic, and we did the Hora Santa, and you do like the 9 days and stuff like that after somebody passes. I did the whole 9 days. I went to church every single day. Even though I didn't believe anything, I was there because my grandma believed this. And this is part of my culture. And I grew up, Catholicism is part of the culture. I see it as a cultural thing, right? So I'm there. I'm going to be at church. I'm probably not going to do the whole persinal or I'm probably not going to say the Padre Nuestro, but I'm going to be there with everybody else. I will kneel with everybody else. I will sit with everybody else. I will stand with everybody else. I will say hi to everybody else. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and go and get the hostia and all the stuff, but I'm going to be respectful towards something that's also part of the culture.
The way I've always told people is like I'm agnostic with one finger on Catholicism.
Yeah.
Just in case. But I also think like part of it is that too. It's like it's so ingrained in our family's traditions. That I'm not one to be like this. Like, and I'm talking about, and I want to reiterate, I'm talking about Catholicism, as a religion, not the church. There's a difference.
Okay, what's
between
the
difference? The church and your faith in Catholicism. Having faith is something that you believe in internally.
Okay.
The church is man-made. It's a system that we can go into that, but there's not enough time.
Yeah.
But I think when we're talking about traditions and stuff, I believe the traditions are about your like how you feel personally with God, with faith, and all that. And I respect that.
Maybe you talk about like, okay, the religion as the cultural aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because I do like seeing the cross. I like seeing
it's more intertwined with faith.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's what I also respect about it. That people go to it because they have a true faith. They feel the faith.
Yeah.
And I think that is eso se vale. Like I respect that. And again, for me, if religion makes you a better person, by all means.
Yes.
But
I don't like okay, let's say you're agnostic. Or you're atheist. Don't push your ideals on somebody else. I don't like to do that. I don't do that myself. I also don't like the reverse. Don't knock on my door trying to convert me. Leave me the hell alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't try it. Like, just because you believe something, don't push that belief on me. Like, leave me alone. You see what I'm saying?
I was always just bothered. It's like, it's Saturday morning, bro. Like, what are you doing coming to my door? But yeah, back in the day, like, I think the way that I eventually got around to them, like, not coming around, I always, like, everyone else in my family was like, don't open the door to them. Don't open the door. I actually liked opening the door.
You did?
Yeah.
You debated them?
I wouldn't debate them, but I would ask questions. Because they would be talking about and keep in mind, there's several different religions that were out there, and I think one of them were Baptists. And I think somebody one time said, like, we're heading for Armageddon and we need to be right by God.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but why is Armageddon coming? Because it was written in it's written in the Bible. It's what's gonna happen. And I was like, yeah, but who wrote the Bible?
Yeah.
God wrote the Bible. Okay, no, but who like pen and paper? Who did it? And they would like, and it again, I'm just asking questions.
And they didn't answer or what?
They would always just be like, why? Like,
why this guy challenge me?
Like, you know,
we gotta go to
we gotta go to. We have other houses. It's like, no. Like, come on in.
They
They
hated you.
It's because, and again, I'm not debating them. Like, it's because it's not a debate.
Mm-hmm.
It's me just asking simple questions about, like, okay, you're coming to my house and telling me that we're all gonna burn in hell because Armageddon's coming.
Yeah.
How am I not supposed to question that?
Of course.
Right? Like, but then they wouldn't really have answers for that because that's not their job. Right? So then they eventually were like, don't go to this house.
Oh,
and
good.
Eventually they were like, yeah, all right, cool.
So that it's so annoying them enough so they wouldn't come back.
Here's the thing. You didn't have to do much to annoy them. You just had to ask questions.
That's it. You know, there was one, I tried everything and they wouldn't go away. I remember they knocked on my door and I went up to the door and I was like, no, and they were like, ding, ding, yo vine aquí para hablar de la Biblia, de Dios, hablar de Dios. Y yo dije, no, yo soy judío.
Hijo de tu madre.
And then I look back, mama, y dice, ¿por qué tú dices que tú eres judío? Y dije, para que me deje tranquilo. Es que están buscando a los judíos para convertirte. Tú estás diciendo que tú eres judío, creyendo que ellos se van, pero es a ti que te están buscando.
Did they come back?
They definitely came back.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't work.
They're like, we gotta change them. We gotta get into our side.
Yeah, Norberto, you know, I appreciate you always coming back here. Man, you're always so fun to have at the fucking. You're always so fun to have at the podcast. I fucking love your ass. I love the way you think. Keep coming back. All right. I know I called you like, yo, ven, Norberto, do not baby, you know. And you came through, bro, on a Saturday. Tranlo chao, because he was on his little date at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hijo de tu madre. Put my business out there.
Who was she?
Yo con la cerrada. No digo nada.
I got home late too. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, but I was at the show. I was doing a show with the guys. So, no, appreciate you coming. Yo, let them know where to find you at.
Find me at Norberto Briseño on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. And that's about it.
All right. Leave in the comments the conversation we had, what you think. Lo quiero mucho. La pase bien. Bye.